So the age-old question, real estate versus the stock market, right? And there's all kinds of stuff out there. And so if we were to look at the last 5-year period of real estate versus stocks, a lot of the data that's out there, they look at national data. And yes, we could pull all kinds of stuff out to compare and contrast, but I'm just gonna kind of walk you through my purview on this because I think you invest in both for different reasons. And depending on what you invested in real estate or stock market in the same period, one could beat the other. Now, one thing I will tell you, if you're out there and you can afford it and you can get good advice and you understand, I would tell you to invest in both, because I think diversification is a key to growth and wealth, but smart diversification, not just throwing some stuff in the stock market because you think that's the way to go, right? But if you look at the stock market over time and real estate over time, they both appreciate and provide a return, right? And so, let's talk a little bit about one versus the other. So the stock market is liquid. You put money in the stock market today, stock goes up, you want to sell it tomorrow, you can traditionally sell it pretty quick and get the money out fairly quick, right? However, which I do, the one thing that particularly I don't like about the stock market, and this is just my opinion, is it's not a tangible asset. I like buying a piece of real estate, right? And being able to see the house, being able to see the apartment complex, being able to see the, the triple net building that I bought, whatever the case is. And we have seen, very rare, but we have seen stocks go to really low numbers, right? So you have had stocks, you have rarely, but you have had companies go bankrupt. The value of their stock loses all its value. Again, few and far between, but it can happen. We've never seen real estate go to zero. The value of real estate typically always retains its value. It may go up or down, but rarely will a property ever go to zero, right? And then the flip side of that is if the property has income generating potential, a house, an apartment, a duplex, whatever the case is, and you typically can always get a rent multiple out of that property. It will always rent for a certain amount of money, and that typically always goes up, right? So when you think about this, the stock market, you can invest your money in, you can get a return, sell it, pull your money out. It's truly passive, right? So it goes up, it goes down. You don't have any maintenance. You don't have the same amount of time necessarily involved in investing in the stock market as you do in real estate, right? You're not driving around to look at a house or whatever the case is, all the things that go into actually owning real estate. So there's a pro and con of both of that. Some of the pros of owning real estate is you can get a ton of tax depreciation, help you on your taxes. It appreciates over time. Rent typically goes up over time, and it's a tangible asset. And I will tell you, all the wealthy people that I know, like really wealthy, own a ton of real estate. Now, they're in the stock market game as well, but some of the wealthiest people that I've ever met in my life got wealthy through owning real estate. They may have ran another business, they may have done other things for income, but they put a ton of their money into real estate, and that's what grew. Now, you could get lucky in a stock, you could get lucky in a real estate deal where one beats the other, right? Comparatively, a lot of times their returns are pretty close. I will tell you, for me, I've done better in real estate because that's what I'm an expert in. That's what I'm really good at. So if I looked at the last 5 years of the stock market versus my real estate returns, I'm probably up more in real estate, about 10% over the stock market. So I've probably gotten, somewhere around 15% in the stock market, just average in the last 5 years, which is pretty damn good, versus I've probably equaled out to about 25% return on my real estate portfolio as a whole. Now, some stuff that I sold, I got way better of a return. Some stuff was less. I'm just giving you generality, right? So you just have a compare and contrast. But I don't think there's anything wrong with either one. And again, it is not impossible for you to get into a stock and it hit a crazy ride. But if you think about it like this, and I've had this happen, I buy a $300,000 house, and let's just say that I use the Burr method and I end up in the property for no money. And if you haven't watched my video on the Burr method, you need to so you can understand this. But let's just say I buy a $300,000 rental property and I end up with $0 out of pocket on it by the time I get out of the Burr were. And then it doubles and I sell it for 600 in just a few short years. My return is infinite. You know what I mean? Because I put $0 of my own money in. But let's just say I had to put 20% in, right? So let's say I put $60,000 and I sold it for 600, right? Then do the math on that. My return is around 10x. So you can get those returns in the stock market, don't get me wrong, but I've hit home runs in real estate without having to use a ton of my own capital. And that's one of the reasons why I like it. And over time, I mean, generally stocks go up in value and real estate goes up in value, but I like all the other added benefits that real estate gives me that the stock market doesn't. Like we talked about, tangible asset, depreciation on my taxes, the cash flow on the rental typically goes up. So for me, I would tell you that overall, my return in real estate has done way better than the stock market for me. But I do think if you're an investor, you should do both because you should diversify yourself. And again, there's people in the stock market and people who invest in stocks that will crush me all day because it's what they do. But I would crush them in real estate because it's what I do. So I would tell you, do both. But if you want to gain wealth and get a storage of wealth, real estate is a game that I love because I control it. It's predictable. It's a tangible asset and all the other benefits that come out of it. And if you really understand the game and you play the game the right way, you can be in and out of deals a lot of times with not a lot of your own money in it. So it just completely shapes and changes your return drastically. So if you're out there and you're watching this and you want to learn more about investing in real estate and helping you on your wealth journey, check out my YouTube channel and check out my podcast to get more information that's free to help you on your journey of investing in real estate.